Petersburg Science Festival. We are so excited you're here with us today. And here in Track B, we are starting off with the St. Petersburg Library System, where they're going to talk about junk food science with Carrie and Elizabeth. So take it away.
Well, good morning.
Good morning, y'all.
I'm Miss Elizabeth.
I'm Miss Carrie, and we're with the Spark team of the St. Petersburg Library System. All right, today we're going to be talking about some junk food science, but specifically we're going to be talking about potato chips. I don't know about you, Miss Elizabeth, but I love potato chips.
Yes, did you have some for breakfast?
No, unfortunately, I did not have any for breakfast. I don't think that's a good way to start my day.
I'm not so sure about that, but before we get started, we would like to know what your favorite potato chip is. So we're going to give you a second or two to get your teacher to post what your favorite potato chip is, and we will take some of those answers in a minute or two.
Yeah. What's your favorite potato chip, Miss Elizabeth?
I like kettle chips. They're a little thicker and they're crunchy, and they're really good if you make some homemade onion dip with sour cream and you dip it in and you crunch it, and then it's
so good.
What's your favorite?
I like kettle chips as well, but I like the salt and vinegar flavor because they're nice and tangy.
Ooh.
Super yummy. All right, so today we're going to be investigating how much fat is in the potato chips that we love to eat.
Okay, so I've got a question for you.
Yeah.
Miss Gary, have you ever put a pile of chips on a napkin or a paper towel, and you eat all the chips, and then you look at the napkin or paper towel, and it's really greasy?
Yeah, I can feel it on my hands when I pick them up. My hands feel kind of slick afterwards.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, so we're going to be investigating how much fat is in our potato chips, and to do that, we're actually going to be mashing up our potato chips. Actually, we're going to be pulverizing our potato chips.
Let's go for it. Pulverize.
We're going to pulverize our potato chips, and we're going to do that on a piece of paper, and once we hit them, it's going to there's going to be a grease stain that's left on the paper from all of the grease on the potato chip. So once we're done, we'll be able to count that and see which chips are the greasiest.
Because we're using graph paper.
We are using graph paper, so we'll count them at the end. All right, so I can talk about fats a little bit. Most of the food that we eat has some type of fat in it, and they're necessary in our diets. So fats are nutrients in our body that are used to build tissues and hormones, and your body also uses fats as fuel. So you need to eat them. They're necessary to function, to think. If the fats that you eat aren't burned as energy, they are stored in your body as fat cells. But we're going to be talking about two specific types of fats today, and the first one is unsaturated fats, which are known as the healthy fats. So they are important for brain, nerve, and eye development. They also decrease the risk of heart disease and stroke, and you can get unsaturated fats in fish, seeds, nuts, olive oil, and avocados.
Ooh, that sounds like good stuff.
I love all of those things. So those are super healthy fats to eat. But on the other hand, there's saturated fats, and those are what are known as the unhealthy fats. They're found in meat and animal products, but they do have a purpose. They're used to help packaged food stay fresh longer, and they give baked goods a smooth texture, and that's what we want when we bake. We bake some good desserts. But
Wait. Are we ready to find out if anybody gave us their favorite potato chip flavor?
I would like to know.
Do we have any answers to that?
We do have a few answers to that. Sorry, I'm invisible. We do have a few answers. We heard we like Cheetos, we like Lay's potato chips, barbecue potato chips, and Takis.
Oh, I love Takis.
Yes.
Takis are my personal favorite as well.
I think the most popular flavors are barbecue and sour cream and onion, but I love them all.
I know, I do too. So let's see. Did you know that potato chips are an invention?
I actually didn't know that, Miss Elizabeth.
I never really thought about it that way, but they are kind of an invention. And I want to read a poem to you about the person they think created potato chips. So potato chips, they believe, though it's kind of a legend, were created by a real person named George Crumb. And George Crumb is a real person. We're just not positive he's the one who created potato chips. So I'm going to read a poem about that, and it's from Imaginative Inventions by Charisse Miracle Harper. So it says, potato chips. In Saratoga Springs in 1853, the first chip was invented very accidentally. Now, the cook, whose name was George, had never been to France. He said, "I'd love to travel, but I've never had the chance." One day there was a customer, let's say his name was Rick. He ordered some of George's fries, then said, "These are too thick." Now, Rick had been to France. He said, "French fries should be thinner. I'll just wait until you fix these, then I'll finish up my dinner." France, France, fancy pants. Chef George was not impressed. He cut Rick's fries up super thin for being such a pest. Well, Rick said, "My friend George, I like these more than fries. They're crispy and they're crunchy. You deserve a cooking prize." So that's kind of an imaginative poem about how George Crumb may have invented potato chips. There are all sorts of interesting other books that you can read. We are the library, so we love our stories. This one was my favorite, George Crumb and the Saratoga Chip. Here's another one called Mr. Crumb's Potato Predicament. And we also have some cool food books, such as Carrots Like Peas, and then here's a Taste the World book about potatoes. So that's some cool stories.
I'm excited to read those. So let's look at what we're going to be using today and what we're going to be, the different types of chips that we're going to be investigating.
All right.
All right, so let's do our first one. We've got some baked Lays, which I like a lot. They have 5 grams of total fat and then 0 grams of that bad saturated fat.
All right. Next, we have our favorite kettle cooked original chips, except these are reduced fat, and so they have 5 grams of fat and 0.5 grams of saturated fat.
All right, and then we've got our original potato chips, and these guys have 10 grams of fat total and then 3.5 grams of saturated fat.
And these are the most fat of all. These are ruffled style potato chips. They are 11 grams of fat with 3.5 grams of saturated fat.
I do like the ruffled ones a lot.
Okay, let's talk about our tools.
We're going to be using parchment paper just to hold all the grease in
while we pound,
while we pulverize them.
Or you could use wax paper.
You could use, yeah. All right.
We have
a rubber mallet
or
a rolling pin.
Okay.
And if you guys want to tell your teacher which tool you'd like us to use, the rolling pin or the rubber mallet, in a minute we'll ask.
Yes, so put that in send that to our moderator.
All right, and we have a kitchen scale to measure out the amount of chips that we're going to be using so they're consistent for each type of chip. A serving size of each of these chips is going to be 28 grams, which is about 20 chips, but we're going to cut that in half and do about 14 grams for each of them.
For each of our tests. And then we're going to use a Sharpie and, of course, a calculator. All right. Would you like to talk to us about a hypothesis?
Yeah, so we're going to have to come up with a hypothesis before we do this experiment. Do you know what a hypothesis is, Miss Elizabeth?
Is it like photosynthesis where plants get the sunshine and then they make energy and grow?
Not quite, but it is in the science realm.
Okay.
So a hypothesis is just an educated guess about the experiment, what you think is going to happen during the experiment. So for us, we're going to be investigating how greasy each of our potato chips is. So our hypothesis is going to be the chips with the highest amounts of fat and saturated fat are going to be greasier and create a bigger grease stain than the chips that have a lower fat content.
Oh, we forgot to show our last tool, which is our graph paper.
We've got this lovely colored graph paper, which will probably be hard to see on this camera, but we actually just use construction paper and printed out our graph on there. So whenever we have the grease stain on there, at the end we can just count the boxes to have a consistent way to measure how big the grease stain is.
Okay, in just a second we're going to get our dot camera going. Just a second.
And we'll start measuring out our chips.
We have some answers that the rubber mallet is winning.
We thought that would win, and we
yes,
love
everyone wants to see you smash things with a rubber mallet.
We will do that for them.
We weren't quite sure that was going to be the answer, but we wanted to give you the options.
All right, so we're gonna weigh out our paper first just to see how much that weighs. And it's hard to tell, but the light will go away in a second, so you guys will be able to see it. So right now our graph paper is at 7 grams. So we want to add 14 grams of our ruffled chips on top of that.
Oh, I'll do that. Can I do that on the calculator?
You could do that on the calculator. So we have 7 grams.
I was going to do it backwards.
Oh, yeah.
7 plus 14 equals 21.
So
you're doing that in your head, I know.
We want that number to say 21 on the scale. All right, we're at 8.
Just a little bit more.
Perfect.
21. All right.
All right, so we're gonna move our kitchen scale out of the pulverizing zone.
So let me tear off a piece of.
Yeah.
Oh well.
Okay.
We're just gonna put it right on top.
And the parchment paper is going to be used to contain all of the grease and the pieces of chips that are going to fly everywhere when we pound them with the mallet.
I know you would like to see that, but that doesn't make the science works a little bit better this way.
Trying to contain the mess.
Okay, I'll pound for a while, then you can pound.
Okay.
Or let me get this right underneath. There we go. Your turn.
All right.
Pound it, pound it. Go, 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 go.
I think we're pretty good.
Let's see.
Oh yeah.
Oh, one more spot right there.
I think we're good.
All right. Ooh.
Nice and you can already see the grease start to form.
All right. Some of it's already stuck to the chip. I don't know if you can see it.
All right, we're gonna move that one off.
We're gonna set this one aside.
Let the grease kind of ooze out of the chips.
We're gonna let it set aside for at least 10 minutes. And it's better if you don't move it like we just did, but that's all right.
All right, and then we're gonna do our original chips.
And now it's weighing at 7.2. We actually found that different colors of construction paper weigh differently.
That's
Or maybe
another.
it was different brands.
It's another experiment for another day.
Yep. All right.
All right,
We'll set this one aside. We'll weigh another one or two real quickly.
and we'll do the reduced fat.
The reduced fat kettle chips. Woo!
We did a taste test, and these still taste good even though they're reduced fat.
They do. And I'm still at 19.
Oh, there we go.
There it goes. All right, we are at 9:13. We've got good time. I think we have time to maybe measure one last one. Let's do it. Definitely measure the baked ones.
Yeah. I didn't realize we were off.
I think they can still see us from the side. All right, more measuring. And Miss Carrie is zeroing out the scale every time, so make sure we start and getting a consistent measure. One more chip. Come on. Oh, there we go. All right.
All right, get the kitchen scale out of there. Our nice friendly one.
All right, we are going to pound. We are going to pound at the same time. That one is the baked ones. This is the original. Let's do the reduced fats.
All right, I'm gonna do the rolling pin.
Yeah, we can't do them both at the same time. So here we go. On the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Mine are going everywhere. Okay, mine went everywhere. Whoops.
There was a little explosion of chips with the rubber mallet.
Now, if I were doing this normally, I would probably just start back over because it didn't all land on
On the paper.
the intended place. So we want to let them sit for at least 10 minutes.
Yes.
I don't, do you want to do the last one? Let's
do
go for it.
Let's do the last one.
Okay, your turn.
I'm gonna use the mallet.
Oh yeah, that's just so much more fun.
It's a crowd favorite.
All right, so we have, you can see them, we set them aside, and there's chips everywhere.
Science is messy sometimes.
It is. Sometimes tasty too.
Yeah. All right, so we actually did this experiment beforehand, just so for the sake of time, we let them sit already, so we can show you how we're going to count them.
We actually did the experiment last night. Let them sit on there like 15 or 20 minutes, dump the chips, and then just let them sit overnight.
Yes. All right, so this is one we did last night for the ruffled chips. You guys see how greasy they are? And so the way we're counting them is we're looking to see if the box is 2/3 the way full of grease. So we already pre-counted this one a little bit, but we'll count the rest of them with you. So we counted the ones out here, but we have a lot in the center that are soaked in grease. So we're just gonna make X's there.
And it doesn't matter if you chose a half or 2/3 or completely, just be consistent so your variables stay the same between the different things.
All right. Do you want to count them together?
Yes.
Do you want to just count the X's?
Yes, we'll just count the X's.
All right, so we got
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48,
49,
50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, 61, 63, 64, 65, 66, 67, 68, 69, 70, 71, 72, 73,
74, 75, 76, 77, 78, 79,
80, 81, 82, 83, 84, 85, 86, 87, 88, 89, 90, 91, 92, 93, 94, 95, 96, 97, 98, 99, 100, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40,
41, 42, 43, 44,
45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66, 67, 68, 69, 70, 71, 72, 73,
74, 75, 76,
77, 78, 79, 80, 81, 82, 83, 84, 85, 86, 87, 88, 89, 90, 91, 92, 93, 94, 95, 96, 97, 98, 99, 100, 1, 202.
203.
We get those four?
We did. All right.
So we had, that was a lot of counting.
Whew.
I'm sure that was really exciting to watch.
That was a lot of math. All right. So we counted 203 for our ruffled chips, and these are the ones that had the most fat and tied for the most saturated fat out of all of our chips. And the next highest was our original potato chips. They had 10 grams of fat, and we counted 138. So a little bit less grease. And then going down, we got our reduced fat kettle chips at 5 grams of fat and 0.5 grams of saturated fat, and those were only 67. And then the least greasy was our baked chips that had no saturated fat, but 5 grams of total fat. They had 3.
We had to work really hard to find 3.
As you can see, there's not much grease on this one.
They're just very light.
Yes.
So let's compare. Let's leave out our 2.
Our highest fat and our lowest fat. I'm going to slide it over just a little.
Slide it over just a little bit.
Yeah, so you can see the difference of the ruffled chips and the baked chips and how much grease. And they sat for the same amount of time.
Yes. All right, I'm going to turn off our document camera.
Yeah. All right, and so from looking at the grease stains, I think our hypothesis was correct.
What was our hypothesis again?
Our hypothesis was that the chips with the highest amount of fat and saturated fat are going to have the biggest grease stain. And I think that proved it. I mean, it's pretty greasy.
Yeah.
All right. If you guys have any questions about what we did or any of the science we talked about, feel free to ask your teacher to write us a comment, and we'll try to answer the best we can.
So what are you going to have for lunch? You're going to have potato chips for lunch, Miss Carrie?
I don't know if I can eat potato chips after doing this so many times.
We actually practiced the science experiment just to see. And we feel like we smell like potato chips at this point.
Our hands are potato chips. And I don't know about you, but I never just eat 20 potato chips when I open a bag. So this has kind of opened my eyes to actually know what a serving size is, because this is half a serving size amount of grease.
And you can look, I don't know if you can see it. You can see it on the back as well.
It goes all the way through.
It
This is
went all the way
construction
through.
paper.
Yeah.
So it'll make you think twice about how many chips you're eating. But I do like the reduced fat and the baked chips just as good.
Yes.
And there might be a little healthier of a choice. Enjoy your potato chips though.
We're checking to see if we have any questions.
Hi there. So I think we do have a few questions. So the first question was about the science itself. You guys talked about the tools doing different things. So if you were to think about this as an experiment, which tool, the rolling pin or the mallet, do you think works better for the experiment?
I can answer that a little bit. So they're going to have two different methods of pulverizing the chips. I think they both have pros and cons. I think the rubber mallet is really good at kind of imprinting the paper with the grease, since there's so much force behind each swing. But the rolling pin is pretty good at keeping everything kind of in the center of the paper without it kind of flying everywhere. So for science sake, it might be easier to see the blob of grease with using the rolling pin. But they both do a pretty good job about getting the grease on the paper. It's just about how much force you're using.
Right. You could actually, what would be interesting is to do an experiment and try the same chips and try crushing them once with the rubber mallet and once with the rolling pin, and see if you get a different result.
Yeah, those could be your independent variables in another experiment.
Do we have more questions?
Yes, I think so. My internet is a little unstable, so I was paused for a minute. Another question is, does this mean I shouldn't eat any saturated fats at all?
No, that's not what's happening here. You guys can enjoy potato chips, you can enjoy saturated fat. It's more of just making you aware of what is actually in the food that we eat. There's no such thing as bad food, but if you look at the nutrition labels on the back of your food, you can be more aware of what you're ingesting.
And you may choose to eat less of some of the kinds of fats.
Yeah.
But we're not saying one is, it's not an all good bad thing.
It's a good way to balance what you're putting into your body, because your body needs fats.
So you also talked about other kinds of fats. Could I do an experiment like the one you just did, but with avocados?
I don't know how much grease is going to come off of that. I'm not sure if the unsaturated fats are going to be in the form of grease or if they're going to be more solid. That is a good question to investigate. You could do this with avocados and see exactly what happens. I'm just not sure. That would be a great starting off point for a research project if you guys were ever interested.
Or maybe you could try seeds.
Yeah.
Seeds might be a little easier to.
Yeah.
You might be able to pulverize those, but whatever you're most interested in is the way to go.
As long as there's any type of fat in there, that would be a really good experiment.
Just don't forget to create a hypothesis before you start.
Yeah, you got to follow the scientific method.
And then one final question, because we have one more minute, is do you have good books at the library that are about nutrition and food?
That'd be a good question for you.
Absolutely. We have good books about nutrition and food at the library. And if the individual branch you walk into doesn't have what you want, you can always ask the staff to order you a book, because we can get books from all the public libraries in the county. So it's not just what you see at the one library you walk into, it's what we have in all the libraries.
Yeah, your library card gives you access to every library in Pinellas County. And we do have a lot of good cookbooks.
We do have good cookbooks too, but
there's tons of stuff.
Absolutely.
And we have one more question. What can I do to help others be more aware of what we put in our bodies?
I think one thing that you can share with your friends and family is how to look at a nutrition label on the back of all the food that you buy at the grocery store. We don't have our document camera on.
You can, when you turn it on.
We
have just a second. We have time to turn it on.
We can look at it. So on all the food that you buy, there's going to be a nutrition label on the back that's going to give you everything you need to know about the food you eat. It's going to give you the ingredients, and it's going to give you all the different nutrients in your food. So I think a good tool would be just start looking at the nutrition labels at the food of the food that you're buying at the grocery store and that you're eating. There we go.
It's this label right here.
And they do have protein.
They do have protein.
Fat is not the only nutrient.
This is really exciting and fun, and I look forward to going and smashing some chips in my own house. But I think we are out of time for today. So thank you to the St. Petersburg Library and Elizabeth and Carrie for your awesome
I think we lost her.
Hi everyone, again, sorry, internet issues. Thank you so much to the St. Petersburg Library, to Carrie and Elizabeth for this really cool experiment that helps us think about all of the things we put in our bodies, even the delicious ones like chips, and how to be mindful about that. So thank you both.
Thank you.
Have a great day. Enjoy the rest of the Science Festival and come see us.